Don't forget to share your screen, Tom.
No wrong at all.
That is way worse.
If you're joining us, we are testing things out. Welcome to the stream.
What could possibly go wrong? Nothing.
Well, that actually sounded like he was pretty much on time there.
Oh, really? I like that.
Check.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Way better.
Wow.
Way better.
Okay, don't need to clap check then. He
Right?
responded.
We are streaming, John, so good. Thanks for putting the pants on.
Oh, damn, I knew I forgot to do something.
All right.
How is this better than your normal internet connection?
Because he's probably using the hotel Wi-Fi.
No, I'm using my phone.
This,
The hotel Wi-Fi
before.
you were complaining about.
this is significantly better than your normal home connection.
No,
No,
it
it's
isn't.
Yes,
not.
it
Just-
is.
No, he's not. He's lying.
Stop it.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
One, 2, 3, clap.
Way better.
Seriously, his connection is better than yours, Eric.
Fuck you. Not even close.
You can pull up the YouTube video. He claps before you do.
Well, that's because I'm lazy. Mine is so fast, I could clap before you even ask. Watch.
2, 3.
I'm in the future.
You are immortal. We have determined that.
We have.
Yes.
We have.
All right.
Yeah, title for the show. Eric's a Highlander. All you got to do is cut his head off.
I sent you guys the wrong link. Please
Yes,
click
you
on this
did.
link. Oh, I'm still trying to retweet the tweet.
Did you
What's
send
happening?
the link at all?
Yeah.
Where did you send the link at? Why is that not coming
Slack.
through? Why is it not coming through? I don't see it.
Tom, do you see it? Tom?
Sorry, what?
Oh, I got
Do
it.
you-
I got it now.
Never mind.
I had to reload Slack probably because I reset my connection.
All right. I'm
Running
playing
health
catch-
checks now. Let's see what happens.
God, I am so happy with these
Whoa. Oh, you're
emo-
sharing your
these
screen.
emojis of me.
in Discord.
Yeah,
They're awesome.
Wait.
they're
They're actually
so, they're so good.
too.
Oh, wait. This is doing that whole. No, it's not set to monitor. Why can I hear you twice? Tom, I'm hearing you twice again, but I am not set to monitoring. Oh, I got
I just,
So mute.
Change my
mute-
output.
Yeah, mute
I
the
got-
Zen. No, mute the Zencaster
I
tab.
got it.
no, he
I
know,
got it.
yeah, he knows what he's
No.
doing. Don't worry.
I
Zencaster
got it.
Classic got fucked up.
Yeah, I figured it.
And-
I got it. We're good.
Uh,
There's no need to mute. I just had to change my audio output on there to some bogus output.
All right, I'm just gonna start recording, so I don't forget. Or when I do.
1, 2, 1, 2. Coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know, Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with a clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John. You know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web application. locations. Okay, I can dig it. My words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly. We ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all. Peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well on YouTube. Hope you guys are having fun. And it was an honor and blessing to do this little custom freestyle for y'all. Hope you enjoy. Stay up. Yeah. Come on. Hey.
All right. Thomas, anything else you want to do before we kick it off?
Just say no and kick it
Just
off.
kicked it off. That was kicking it off. It's the song.
That's how we kick it off.
Tom, your supporter scroll is going way too fast. You need to slow that down. So you got to get to my level now, son.
No.
All right, let's do this. What did it be? 310. This started Zencaster. I started Zencaster. You see? Don't even have to worry about it.
Good job.
Told you, I live in the future. All right. From the Pacific to the Rockies, and then like hang a right and head down to Austin, and then hang a left and around the world. You're listening to the PHP Ugly Podcast, episode 310. We are 3 everyday developers who make a living with the PHP programming language, and we get together on a weekly basis to live stream. So check that out Thursday nights around 9 p.m. Pacific time. We have a whole time shift thing coming up. We know that's on you. I'm not coding this for you. Just know it's Pacific time, 9 p.m. Thursdays is when we record live, or check us out on our audio podcasts. We've got some people we will like to thank for the shows, making the shows a little better, making shows a little smoother, although this might not be one of those shows. Our Patreons on Patreon. Then we have a couple of sponsors. We still have Cloudways and Honey Badger. We're going to talk about all of them later in the show. We'll get to them. I know everybody's wants to hear about the sponsors right away, but nope. We're going to make you listen to some of the show first. That's how bad our show is. People would rather listen to a commercial, so we're going to make you suffer through the show. I'm your humble host, Eric Van Johnson, and with me is my cowboy, John Congdon.
Hello. Happy we were able to make this happen.
Yes, and Tom Right Up.
Yes, that hotel life is just so difficult. If
Well,
only someone
I mean-
had recently gone through it and not complained at all.
Yeah, we can just do it this way then. That's got to be better right there.
Ew,
Way better.
that is.
Why are you in a hotel, John? Did your wife finally kick you out?
More than likely. See, I actually moved this light from over there because there is no light in front of me at this desk. So I tried to set up something that would resemble something normal.
You know what LED stands for?
No.
Light
emitting
emitting
diode.
diode.
I don't have one of those. I'm sorry.
Just the screen in front of you is made up of only a couple 100,000 of them.
Would you like me to just
Why are
turn
you
the
giving a
brightness
hard
way up
time
so I
about
can?
his lighting?
Does my sound better than yours did last week? That's the question I have.
Yeah, it does.
See,
does,
I am a
totally, 100%.
professional. I came prepared to podcast while I was in a hotel room. Lighting sucks, but nobody. We're an audio podcast that happens to be live on YouTube.
We have our friends that hang out with us in Discord.
I am in Austin, Texas at a conference, and I've had people talking to me about how they listen to the show, and I'm like, no, you don't really.
Yeah, it's upsetting, isn't it?
It's amazing. I got outside of the airport waiting for my ride to pick me up, and I'm walk up near this guy that's in the same area as me. I'm like, "Are you here for Longhorn PHP?" He said, "Yeah." So we start talking. I introduce myself, and he goes, "I listen to your podcast."
So you do what I do
Nice.
is you stop talking, go totally straight faced, turn around and walk away.
No, I am an adult and I have a conversation and I say thank you for listening. I appreciate it.
Again,
That's what you're
not sure
supposed
what
to be
that
doing.
has to do with being adult. I can drink, obviously, so that means I'm an adult.
Yeah, I've been drinking for way too long today.
So were you recognized from PHP Architect or from?
Well, I mean, I did come prepared wearing the shirt.
So that's a no. So it was PHP Ugly.
No, I mean, got the ride to the hotel, got checked in, then immediately went to the speaker dinner.
Uber driver said, "Hey, I listen to your podcast."
No Uber driver. This is a professional conference, unlike one that I know will be in happening next year. They actually picked this up from the airport. They treat their speakers well. But no, we went to the speaker dinner. I ran into so many people and was just in awe as usual. I felt like I don't belong here.
Good old imposter syndrome.
I actually wrote down a list of names of people I've run into.
You want to avoid A-Woods. A-Woods apparently.
Yeah, if they're not patrons, then don't list them.
A-Woods would not have been there because he is not speaking. He's attending. So I'm looking forward to hanging out with him tomorrow or after the show if he's around.
Apparently Ralph is in around as well. Man, half of our Discord is heading your way. That's two of the 4 people in Discord, man.
Walk in, immediately saw Ian, talked to him for about half a second because he was too busy looking at the menu and didn't want to talk to me. He's like, go away, peon. I don't want to talk to you. Just kidding. He was great. Talked to him quite a bit later on. Ran into Daniel Abernathy, talked with him, which we talked a lot about tech. And he's very open to having like working together in certain ways. Like they're going to talk about tech during the closing statements of the conference. And it was just nice, just talking about various things with him. While I was talking to him, Chris Hart just walked up just to say hi to me. Which
did he throw a sticker on your laptop?
He did not. I love that guy.
For those who don't know, Chris Hart, just the grumpy programmer, the king of PHP Unit.
King of PHP Unit. Except this is his last time talking at a conference about testing. He says no more. Even I saw a picture of his slides where he talked today, and he said, "You are officially my last audience in a testing presentation at a conference." He's been doing it for so long. He's hanging up the towel. He's like, I'm done.
Done with testing.
Not done with testing. Done talking. Done doing
don't put words in his mouth, John. Tom said he's done with testing. You can't prove him wrong.
Yeah. Sounds like he's done with testing.
He's like realized that it's not worth it either.
My story about Chris, I went to my first conference in 2010. And when I went back to tech, I think it was 2012. I don't think it was the following year. I sat at the bar and I'm tweeting out like, I'm here, but I'm sure nobody remembers me. And Chris walked up and we had a drink together. Yeah, I remember you. And I was like, just blown away by that. It made me realize that this is a community where it's not just fly by night, like, hey, how you doing? And walking away. You actually talk to people, you know them. Even if you don't talk to them on a regular basis, we're going to know each other. I mean, people in our community are going to know each other for years to come.
Yeah, nice. I just want to add to that a little bit. I don't remember anybody, so don't get your hopes up. If I don't recognize you, I mean, you could literally be related to me. I wouldn't remember. So
that happens. Anyway, we'll talk more about the conference later. I don't want to just keep talking about the names or the people that I've run into, because there are quite a few. Beth. I talked to Keith Casey. Eric's gonna like this one. You know,
Yes, I'm
Keith.
Yeah.
Keith Casey. He blocked me on Twitter. He doesn't like me. So
Did he walk away from you when he saw you?
no, we shook hands.
Okay.
And I was like, "Hey, can you unblock me?" And he said he already did. And I went back, and I wasn't blocked anymore, but I wasn't following him anymore. So I don't know if that's a Twitter thing. When you're blocked, if you are unblocked, I guess you have to go back and say, "I want to follow this person again."
John just screamed, "Vegan atheist!" Ah!
Why do you remember? Did we talk about why he blocked you, or is it not something you want to share? Or
I think we just did.
No, the reason behind blocking.
Well, that's the whole story.
Really?
Vegan, aggressively vegan atheist. Ah!
No, it wasn't a vegan thing because he wasn't vegan.
It was a vegan thing. It was a vegan thing.
Oh, then I'm not surprised. You're lucky I haven't blocked you.
I mean, to be absolutely, we love transparency here at PHP Ugly. Eric has blocked John several times.
He has.
You're such a liar. You both are lying. Never blocked. Never blocked him.
No, you've banned him
on
from
Facebook,
the channel.
I did not block you on Facebook. I just stopped following you.
Muted him. You muted him on Facebook.
I didn't need to see every picture of your kid and whatever else you were posting at the time.
It was funny. All right, let's talk about something else.
Eric, how was your week?
Pretty good.
We all want to hear from Eric.
Had a power co-sharing on what? What's the word I'm looking for? Pair programming. Holy crap! Sorry, I had a reboot there. Had a little bit of a hiccup. Had a power pair programming session today with somebody, which was nice. That we were doing a bunch of refactoring to that event sourcing code that I was working on, and it was fun. I forget. So John and I, back when we first started our company, would go places and code all the time. We had this one particular coffee shop on the coast that we would go to initially, which was a blast. And we'd be there all day. And I forgot how enjoyable it can be just to have somebody to chat with as you're coding. Like even if you're not necessarily pair programming, but you're just kind of coding and having that person to talk to. I kind of missed that, man. It was nice. So it had a pretty good pair programming session of refactoring stuff. And that's it. My little app that I was working on that I've been talking about now for the past couple months, we're letting the client onto it and finding bugs and having to fix things, and it's fun stuff, man. That's pretty much it for me. What about you, Tom?
I want to go back to that real quick. I saw the video that we put out, and then you're saying the client walked through and they found bugs off of that.
No, we're finding bugs as we're doing more data to the system. We're finding things that aren't behaving correctly. I don't think the client has actually reported a bug yet. We've reported to the client. We said, "Hey, this little piece isn't working correctly. We know that. We're working on fixing this right now." But
awesome.
That was it.
Then it sounds like it's not a major bug.
No,
they're not finding
or the client's not testing. Well,
I wasn't
either one of
say
them to be true. What about you,
right,
Tom?
Well, I've saved the best for last, obviously. I working on architecture and project management. And boy, do I like project management. Well, I won't say I love project management, but as a software architect, also taking the task of project management has really been satisfying.
I gotta be straight with you, Tom. I've
Mm.
seen your code. I think you'll make a good project manager. Carry on. Carry on with
So
your
when you say
conversation.
project management, are you introducing like project management to the company, or are you streamlining how they're doing something? What part are you liking?
I think I broke Tom.
You can cut this out of the podcast if you'd like to. But I've seen your family, and I'm amazed you can be straight with anyone.
I'm not sure I completely follow that, but okay.
The taking a larger concept and splitting it up into smaller concepts, smaller elements, assigning is not really my thing yet. I'm just taking a very large concept and visualizing it, creating tickets for it. I can say absolutely the software that is out there is grossly inadequate for this concept of architecture to project management. I started using a really great platform called Obsidian, which is like a markdown editor with a graphing relational thing going on. But Jira, which is the sort of de facto standard, there's no way to like brainstorm in Jira and then get that moved into actionable items. There's definitely feels like a missing product. There are UML and markdown editors that can integrate with Jira and fetch data from Jira and sort of like tweak things, but I'm kind of amazed that Jira is the de facto project management interface, given how advanced the.
So when you're saying there's no product out there, are you saying no product out there that uses the products you want to use? Because I find that, I mean, I find the overall statement of there's no product out there is kind of, I don't know.
He's talking about the
Well, I don't.
mind
So I don't
mapping
know.
piece
So that's
first.
when you're in the Atlassian pipeline, you're really stuck there. Like really, really stuck there. And I was talking to a friend of mine earlier today about how Atlassian doesn't have a competitor to Slack, which is shocking at this point. But Atlassian tries to tie all of their products together. But the note-taking process or the brainstorming process or the mind mapping is one of the tools that's used a lot for project management or architecture, just doesn't exist in Jira. Now, there might be tools out there that do this really, really well. The Google search for project management and architecture produces terrible, terrible results. Just the Google search for learning project management result gives you terrible results.
Now you're just trying to piss me off. I'm going to give you 2 more minutes to talk about project management stuff, but you're just like stringing this along at this point. You don't talk this much about PHP, so you're going to have about 2 minutes to wrap up the project management stuff.
Oh, I've got PHP.
All right.
So
But-
I know Miro doesn't interact directly with Jira, but that is a decent like tool.
What's that called?
Miro?
MIRO?
I think so. I'd have to look it up.
Oh, like so first hit on Google is, hey, have you thought about using Lucidchart instead of Miro? You know,
Miro's I guess
These
you can do it
are-
on Lucidchart, but Miro's different.
these are UML tools.
No, Miro's not.
Miro, that's what I'm trying to explain to you, Tom. It's not. It's the whole post-it thing.
Yeah, it's more the brainstorming, bringing trying to get your ideas in line, working as a team to clarify what you're trying to build, to make sure you're building the right things. I've seen lots of different ways to use that, but it's still a manual process once you come up with your Post-it notes or your board, to take that and then bring it into Jira or any other project management system as actionable items.
Right, which is one of the interesting things about Obsidian, which is you can build everything except the actionable items within it. The Miro thing looks interesting.
It is an option for sure.
So where do you find such a tool? I mean, like, I looked up project management and architecture, and this never ever came up. How do you find it?
I don't. That's the problem.
It's
We just started using Jira, but it's just for the wiki, a little bit for like task management, but not for the brainstorming piece yet.
Yeah. You know, I can think of one of the best ways to bring up public knowledge on a product is podcast endorsements.
This video is brought to you by Cloudways. We are all developers and love to write code, but managing the servers that code runs on can be a time-consuming and error-prone process. Cloudways helps you spend less time managing your servers and more time doing what you really want to do: coding. You only need one account to manage servers on multiple platforms and for multiple customers. Pick just the server size and location that makes the most sense for you and your customers. You can even estimate your costs for your server before spinning it up. Cloudways offers peace of mind and flexibility so you can focus on growing your business instead of dealing with server management. With Cloudways, you get an optimized stack, managed servers, backups, a staging environment, integrated Git, pre-configured Composer, 24/7 support, and a choice of 5 different cloud providers: Amazon Web Services, DigitalOcean, Linode, Google Cloud, and Vultr. Get a discount of 20% for 3 months using the code PHPARCH. Check them out today.
Thank you,
Cloudways. Hey, what are you knuckleheads droning on about?
Project
What
management. It's literally all I've done this week.
I was gonna
And
segue out of that for you.
yeah, for me, for my sake.
Yeah. Well, you're the one that said you had a bunch of PHP stuff.
I also have a bunch of project management stuff.
Nick, yeah, let me small.
I have an architecture question for you guys. I'm not
cheaper to buy the year plan than go monthly.
I'm not using Laravel, but I definitely keep having it in the back of my head. Like, it's the structure is stuck.
You got a little taste of that sweet whiskey, baby. You want more. You thought you could just walk away from it. No, you think about it on your lips every now and then, don't you?
I love that Eric searches for a metaphor and just goes for the one he's holding.
Okay,
that's sweet.
I guess it is whiskey. Yeah, I don't know what made me think of that.
It's this idea of libraries versus services. So in my new architecture that I'm working on, libraries are mostly static classes like helpers executing almost repository behaviors, almost. And then the services are where all the business logic goes. So the controllers are just doing this library fetch, and then calling the service to do actual behavior. And I'm wondering how foreign of an idea this is to you guys.
I mean, So again, you're talking to somebody who supports the repository pattern, right? So it's not exactly services, but kind of the same principle where you're extracting all your database stuff. So like a controller,
Libraries.
like a controller that if you can get a controller under a dozen lines, like that should be your target on a regular basis. If a controller gets over a dozen
Agreed.
lines, you're probably doing something wrong. So
Totally agreed.
so with that said, yeah, I'm totally on board with that. Like it should be pretty. Your controllers should be pretty. In my opinion, should be pretty clean. Like there shouldn't be a lot in your controller. It should just be kind of
Thin controller.
taking.
A thin controller.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep, you're muted, Tom.
Muted, huh?
My other big focus here is idempotent services. So they don't care where the data is coming from. They just care that it's formatted in a way they understand. So my libraries are almost
How did you say that word? I've never heard it said that way before.
idempotent.
Yeah, I've never heard it said that way before.
I think they have pills for that to help.
How do you say it?
I've always heard it with the strong I at the beginning. Idempotent.
Oh,
Yeah,
Anyway.
you learn something.
It was just an interesting. It was just a different pronunciation than I've heard in
Yeah.
the past.
so the idea here is that the business logic is all in services, which are not static classes. They are behavior-driven, sort of chained events of handling the data they've been given, whereas the libraries are essentially repositories. They manage the communication with the model structure. And the naming is not my favorite. I don't get to name a lot of the stuff in the old system. But I think it makes sense that the business logic shouldn't care where the data comes from, just that it's formatted correctly to be taken in.
Right.
And you can accomplish that with DTOs, right? That's kind of what DTOs are for.
Yeah, or value objects.
I'm not sure how you would use a value object for that. But
Well, a DTO would be used to communicate changes back and forth, whereas a value object would be a read-only object.
well, the DTO would normalize the data coming in, so it would understand the services that are bringing the data in and know how to manipulate that, so your backend knows how to use it. So the DTO normalizes data coming into your system and going out of your system as well. Value objects you could use value objects. No, you would never even. I don't even think you'd use value objects on a DTO because you're not really doing any validating or anything at that point. You're just normalizing at that point.
But you still can. I mean, if I know I am communicating a phone number out to another
Sure.
service, a third-party library, I may have a phone number value object,
And
then
so
know how to format that data for that third-party service.
yeah, so the libraries kind of act as a value object in front of the models, which would be a DTO.
Are we talking about a specific library, or are you just talking in general?
I'm calling that they're being called libraries.
What is being called libraries? What am I missing? I think I got lost.
The package you're using, or
no, the code we're writing. So we have, for example, an auth_lib, which is a static class that you can say, hey, does this thing have permission? Can this user log in? It's just like question and answer. Versus the services, which are business logic. We have to multiply this value from here by this value from here and tell the library, hey, mark this thing as processed.
Okay, I am not confused at all. How about you, Eric?
I stopped listening after he disagreed with me.
No, you didn't. Nice cat.
I'm about to be attacked by a cat. I tell you, if it's not the dog, it's the cat.
So you said static class. I've never heard static class before. You talking about a class with a bunch of static methods on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
A helper class, static class.
Yeah, I've come to realize that static methods are terrible.
Not a fan. But again, Laravel world, everything's called as a lot of things are called as static. If they're not DI injected.
Testing a pain in the ass for sure.
Oh, is that your problem with static? It makes testing a pain?
Well, I'm hoping that the
all the more reason not to test.
I'm hoping that the abstractions allow me to test this without it being a pain in the ass. Pass in values and not.
You can test. So you can test the static method just fine. It's testing code that uses the static method that becomes almost impossible, especially if your static method does any logic, does anything that it needs a database access for or something.
Well, okay, yeah, it does need database access.
Is a way different than reality.
Like I said, this is greenfield stuff. I get to say
if it's greenfield, avoid static altogether.
But I don't have dependency injection. So I really do end up instantiating, like in methods, I end up instantiating the same shitty objects over and over and over again.
Introduce it. It's not that hard.
It is.
I get it. I mean, we went through it.
I'm not allowed to.
Not allowed to? So I went through this with Phone Burner, where there was no dependency injection. Like 4 or 5 years ago, when they went on a hiring spree, they hired a bunch of people from the PHP community, and they're like, "You don't have dependency injection?" We're like, "Nope, don't have it yet." And somebody just introduced it.
So I want to reiterate last week's conversation, which was, yes, I have free reign, but it will be used against me.
What conversation was this?
It was literally you, Eric. You said, "Hey,
I have free reign and I abuse the hell out of it."
Well, you did tell him to be careful.
You said when you come in and someone says it's your job to flip the table, don't be surprised when they fire you for flipping the table.
Right, that's you. Yeah, you don't own the company. I own the company. I do whatever the hell I want. But yeah, you're right. I did say that. That is good advice for everybody out there, including you, Tom. So don't flip the table. You can say you're going to flip the table.
Introducing dependency injection would be flipping the table.
But it's not. That's not flipping the table. That is not flipping the table. No, it's not. Introducing something new that is useful, that will make the developer lives better, is not flipping the table. It is, hey, I think this will benefit all of us. Flipping the table is saying F you to everybody else, but that's not what you're doing.
I may or may not have had a meeting where I was told, do not flip the table.
Again, this isn't, in my opinion, this isn't flipping the table. This will make our code better. This will make it more testable. You can't test if you're instantiating new objects within your code. You can't test properly. It just doesn't work.
Discord.phpugly.com was asking, whose dog is that? That's my dog.
Barking. Whose dog is barking? That's not your dog in Discord.
Nah, it's barking on the... He's done. The cats are fed. Anyways.
It wasn't the dog.
You can add dependency injection slowly, where it's not going to affect your entire code base. We actually had it where you can't, if you're asking for a specific type of object, it can't be auto injected. It just won't work.
I am also confronted with the existing developers not understanding what's happening.
I was that developer. They will be okay.
That's what I said. They'll learn.
It's like I went to enough conferences where I knew what dependency injection was, but dealing with a legacy code base with a ton of crap made it scary to add. But somebody stepped in and made it work, and now I am so much happier with it. And when it comes to, again, going back to testing, you can't test otherwise. And if you're going to do things, you want to be making it testable even if you're not testing now.
All right.
Because you're going to want to add tests at some point in the future, because they're going to be pissed off when things break and you're like, well, we added some tests.
If I get fired, you guys, you know my rate.
Yeah, and I'll tell you where to go find a job.
Why would we need to know your rate? You just got fired twice.
No, laid off, and then fired.
I think laid off is the new quiet fire.
I still see ads for my previous employer on LinkedIn where they're like, hey, check out this great new product, and I'm like, yeah. I haven't opened up Glassdoor yet, but I'm gonna.
It's happening.
Well, I was asked to review my current employer on Glassdoor. They said, hey, you've been here a couple months, review us on Glassdoor. And I was like, that's weird.
That's right. Yeah.
Like,
no, because they know you're still new enough where you're not mad at them yet, but they don't want to give you a whole lot of time where you build up some like spite towards them.
And I was actually standing at the infinite snack wall when I got the email where do you want peanuts and almonds or do you want fucking Pop-Tarts? We know.
Really?
No one will judge you. Everyone will judge you.
Everyone's judging you.
Everyone's judging you. Yo, Tom ate the 3-year-old Pop-Tart. Check it out. Fucking dude will eat anything.
So I had an interesting thing happen this week. It was kind of dramatic. And, you were just talking about being yelled at or, not being allowed.
Got a vasectomy.
No, that's already done. But I did have somebody come to me, actually started a Slack conversation with a group of people. He's the CTO and he came into this conversation very upset and telling us how he just got yelled at because of a thing that happened and he didn't have a response. Like he had no clue what had happened. And it turns out what he was referring to was I opened a pull request to fix an issue that I thought was a great pull request. It had so much merit, except for the fact that it caused an issue. And I think I talked about it last week, where within an hour I had it fixed. He then gets questioned about it because he's got the whole management team coming down and saying, this was the worst week ever. We've got our lowest scores, and customer service rated us as the lowest they've rated us in a long time. What happened? And he didn't have an answer. And I understood where he was coming from in the sense that he's getting yelled at. So now he's kind of taking it out on us. Like something happened.
Well,
hey, hold on, Tom. You need to let me step in here. CTO to CTO. Because, I'm a CTO as well.
No,
So
I told people this week, and they didn't fucking believe me.
that title carries a lot of weight to it. Not anybody can just name themselves CTO.
That's like 310 pounds, 320
Yeah.
pounds.
Oh, exactly. But see now that's just an example of a bad CTO. Because John, I might not have told you this, but I was in the enterprise, and I know how enterprise CTOs manage, and that's how I prefer to manage my people as the CTO.
I hope you're joking. You're talking about Sony.
The less you know, the better. Like, you don't want answers. You want to be surprised by stuff, and then you can say, you know what? Let me take a meeting with my people. I'll get back to your people. We'll figure all this out, and you just walk away.
God, this
Walk away.
explains so
That's how
much.
you do it.
So much. Why does Eric mute me when I'm talking about project management? This is exactly why.
Because I'm better at it than you are? Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Asshole.
Boy, I'm stumped. Go on, Elon. I'm sorry, that's
hurtful.
Oddly the meanest thing I've said in this podcast. I can totally empathize with the CTO there.
You know what CTO's best tool is?
Eric's trying. Hit the button.
When you're in production, 1,000 things can go wrong. You could deploy a bug in your latest release. Your background jobs can silently fail. Someone could trip over the network cable at your data center, and this all comes back to you. You need to know when bad things happen and be able to respond to them quickly. That's why we built Honeybadger. It's easy to install Honeybadger in your back-end applications and front-end JavaScript. It only takes a few minutes of configuration and you'll have monitoring done. That's because we hook into popular web frameworks, job systems, and the browser, so that when any of them crash, we can automatically let you know. We ping your application from our global fleet of servers to let you know about problems with connectivity, latency, and SSL certificates, and we monitor your recurring jobs to see if any of them stop recurring. When there's a problem, we alert your team using the tools you already use. We can create issues in GitHub, Jira, and other issue trackers, and send notifications via Slack, PagerDuty, or other channels. When you click through, you'll be taken to detailed information on the error. You'll see things like request parameters, headers, user information, and the backtrace. Click on any line of the backtrace to view it in GitHub, Bitbucket, or your local editor. When you fix a problem, just mark it resolved and follow up with the affected user. That's Honeybadger. We're the monitoring tool for web developers who'd rather be, well, developing.
Thanks, Honeybadger.
Thank you, Honeybadger.
I prefer the
So,
real thanks.
Go
for
ahead, John.
Honeybadger.
You were telling everybody how bad your CTO is.
The whole point was he was getting yelled at. He came back. I understood where he was coming from because he just got yelled at and he wanted answers. But it stirred up a whole lot of emotion with other people on the team, and then just the back and forth. And it was just a very stressful couple hours where people were responding. And of course, it's not being done in Zoom where you're face to face and can hash it out. It was, somebody reading something. Slack? It's over Slack where you take things out of context or you hyper focus on one sentence, and it led to a very interesting exchange.
I worry about this sometimes, that I over emote myself on Slack, but I spent 15 goddamn years on IRC, where the only way of communicating any kind of emotion was emoting the end of your sentence after every sentence. I know I'm ripping you away from your topic, but
no, not at all. I was ending. I agree. I do the same thing. I'm constantly.
I emote everything.
adding some sort of emoji or something to say to try to communicate what my meaning was, where it could be taken wrong, but I put in a smiley face or
Right.
something.
So like with the new crowd, with the crowd that I work with, it's a much younger group of people. I would say mid-20s to mid-30s. I just made myself sad. But response emojis are huge with this crowd. Like, people look at who responded and with what emoji they responded with. And it's a big deal, to the point where, like, communication relies on, did you emoji respond to this thing we said is happening as a group event?
Mhm.
It's very foreign to me. A lot of things that these goddamn kids do is foreign to me, but still, it's very interesting. I like seeing it in the security channel, where like people are saying thank you or like thumbs up. This is thumbs up now. I don't know why.
I was wondering how is that thumbs up?
No idea. No idea. This is thumbs up now as an
What
emoji.
are you talking about?
I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I think they're calling you a loser, Tom, and they're like, no, that's the new thumbs up, Tom.
No, I checked.
we
I
wouldn't
checked.
call
I
you
was
a
there.
loser.
I was in the office last week. I checked in person. That's absolutely not what they were going for. It might have been what they were going for.
You're just making things up now.
It's been interesting working with younger people.
We have younger people in our Discord, so younger people, you can let us know what's the new thumbs up.
What? I know it's I swear to
Why
God.
is thumbs up not the new thumbs up?
I know it's not thumbs up.
We have all sorts of fingers you can use in Discord, actually. So just putting that out there.
It's totally bizarre, but thumbs up is not the current thumbs up emoji.
Kids these days, I
All
tell you.
It's this or this.
Hey, have you guys? I'm moving us on. Have you guys patched your
Please.
OpenSSL yet?
Yeah, let me answer that on a public podcast. Honestly, John, yes, 100%. We have on all of our servers, production staging and tests everywhere.
If you have not, you might want to do that.
Is that
now.
Did you just reference an actual Trello card?
I did an actual Trello card.
It's been 2 years since John has referenced an actual Trello card. I am so proud.
I don't even know what to do in this situation anymore.
Anyway, there is an OpenSSL vulnerability that was announced this week. It came out, or it was pre-announced last week, I think, or earlier this week.
Yeah, last Wednesday.
And they're like, hey, on next Tuesday, we are going to announce this vulnerability. You're going to want to be ready to upgrade.
No, next Tuesday, they were going to announce the patch, but
Well,
not the vulnerability.
But with the patch, people could figure out what the vulnerability was.
Right.
So anyway, there's a new version of OpenSSL that is available. The vulnerability only affects 3.0.0 up to 3.0.7. So if you happen to be on an older version of OpenSSL, you're okay.
I love this announcement because this is exactly how I deal with security issues, which is I'm pretty sure we're all going to die and be unemployed next week. And then when it gets reviewed by the security team, they say, oh, no, it's fine. Yeah, you don't.
It
You're
it,
not.
it
not
wasn't
really.
like there's a chance of remote execution on your machine, but it's not
It's a slim chance.
right. You have to have OpenSSL directly available on the public internet.
And a specific version,
Yeah.
and allowing access using email addresses
Well, that
instead
was
of
the
just
second.
usernames.
That was the second vulnerability, right? There were 2 vulnerabilities announced.
Yeah, so there's a security company called Shodan, which is a reference to one of the greatest games ever, that said that there are about 16,000 SSL instances that are vulnerable to this. But only about 1.5% of all SSL instances could be impacted. But there's also not a working exploit, and there's no working exploit data in the CVEs, which is pretty common. It's like,
Right.
yeah, update your SSL, but
Don't stress.
don't do what I did, which was panic and make sure that everyone in the company is aware that this is an issue.
Well, I guess people started equating it to Log4j because OpenSSL is so ubiquitous on Linux machines or on all
Right.
machines really, but it wasn't as bad as Log4j at all.
No, it's not that bad. You should keep your system up to date, unless
But
I
the fact
actually
that it was
didn't
a
have
week.
this.
Good.
I didn't have this card on here, but there are instances where keeping your system up to date and being a PHP developer can be very bad, because there are a number of Linux distributions removing the PHP, the current PHP version from their support in default packages.
What? I have not heard
I
that one.
see this. You adding it to the Trello board?
And now I gotta. I wasn't
Yeah.
gonna.
Well, it
Everybody's
seems
saying
like
they
that
don't
would
believe
seem
you.
like an important conversation to have if that's really happening.
It is actually a serious issue.
But them removing it isn't going to auto uninstall it from your machine if you're trying to keep it up to date, right? It just wouldn't be there, so it wouldn't update to another version.
I don't have answers because I wasn't gonna talk about it.
Then why'd you bring it up?
I didn't. Moving on. Everybody's excited for PHP 8.2, but what about PHP 9?
I'm so confused.
Do you
I want
want
to
me-
get to
do
PHP
you
8
want-
first.
Do you want me to spend the time looking it up? I can look it up.
You're the one that brought it up. You
Are
do what you
gonna
want
look
to
it up
do.
after the show? I'll add it to the show notes.
All right, after the show. I told you I have a lot of PHP stuff for this episode, and
Get to it.
and not just 1 hour in. I'll get to it. We've got some new RFCs, stuff that is coming to PHP, not 8.2, but 8.3. The really big one that people have been waiting for and got sort of unilaterally approved. Let's see, that was a 18-1 approval, was the JSON Validate method. Previously, when you're loading JSON into PHP, it just threw an exception if there was a problem with the JSON validity. Now,
And you said throw an exception, otherwise it just crapped on you.
right. Now you can say, is this string JSON? Check for the depth, and there's a number of flags like invalidate, UTF-8, ignore. So this will tell you, is this thing you're getting JSON? It's a low impact performance improvement. So it actually performs better than loading the JSON and then checking that if you threw an exception.
Really?
Yeah.
I was just wondering how that could be, because if you're going to say, is this valid, and then
So JSON parsing uses a third-party
decode it anyway.
CLib, so it can check for validity before decoding faster than actually decoding each line. Really, that's the big thing. The next thing is improving the unserialized error handling. So I don't deal with this a whole lot except for in Laravel, because Laravel stuff. But unserializing an object can throw a number of different exceptions. Some of them are warnings, some of them are errors, some of them are notices. This RFC proposed a lot of different changes. The big change that did not pass was add the unserialized failed exception and wrap throwables in PHP 8x. That failed, but escalating the severity to warning for all unserialization passed, and throw unserialization failed exception instead of just a notice warning in 9.0 passed. So 8.3 will see an escalation for unserialization warnings to warning, and 9 will see it emitting its own exception instead of a generic throwable e-warning exception. So it's good for frameworks, not going to affect a lot of people who do their own like independent code, but frameworks deal with a lot of serialization and unserialization in queues, and I've had a lot of personal issues with that as well. We've also got a Laravel update. A couple Laravel updates. One of them is odd. Laravel Precognition. Did we talk about this already?
I don't think so.
So Laravel Precognition allows for form validation before hitting the controller.
I mean, isn't that what form validation does now?
Kind of. You can just call a precognition check against the validation instead of executing the controller if validation passes. So you can say, I want to validate this form,
Mm-hmm.
and if it passes, just return true. It's a simple way of doing RESTful or Ajax-based server-side validation without making a call to the full stack.
It's still a call to the
Still
full
not
stack, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm still not sure how that differs from form valid.
So it's
know.
it's for clarity here, it's a route type that points to a request object instead of a controller object. It is a simplification of routes to validation objects instead of controller objects.
So
It's not
would this validation, this precognition, use the same thing that the controller would end up using for validation?
Yes.
So
But
precognition
the controller would execute the action, whereas precognition would just execute the validation and only return a JSON response saying it's valid or here's the fields that are invalid. It's a helper for Laravel. When I saw it, I thought it was more important than what it really is, but it's just a new route type for Laravel.
I'm sure it's a route type. I'm looking at the repo now. I'm not sure I completely follow it either. I'm scanning through it, but yeah, I'm. It looks like
Sounds like it's
form
just a
request handler.
fancy way for your Ajax to say, hey, if I give you all this data, is it going to be good?
Yeah. Yep.
In actual important Laravel news, Laravel developer, what's his name? Oh shit.
Nuno? Everything's Nuno now.
It is Nuno.
I told you everything.
It is Nuno.
Everything coming out of Laravel right now is Nuno.
Laravel 10, which we're expecting January, February, will be typed, PHP typed on all methods. Not just, so currently Laravel is using attribute typing, return values via attributes. This is real PHP typing on everything in Laravel. It is a huge ask. Native type declarations are an enormous pull request where you take everything that is typed via attributes for the sake of IDEs, and they're returning real types for all objects. This is an enormous win for PHP Stan users, for modern PHP users. Like, everything is hard typed with PHP native types. I am so excited about this. I love native types.
How do you think he went about making that change?
Find every method with a static analysis tool that doesn't have a defined static type.
I mean, like, you can probably even configure PHP Stan to do that for you.
Yeah,
Do you think
PHP Stan set a rule.
Mhm.
All methods require a return type. That's it.
And I'm going down a path here. Do you think they used the abstract syntax tree for this? And where would you learn about the abstract syntax tree if you
I'm supposed to hit a
wanted to
button.
learn
Wait,
about it?
I don't have a button.
Are you not a subscriber to or do you not know what
Thank you
AST
to our
is?
patrons who are PHP
Nope.
architect No, shit.
That's fine. No, you gotta keep the Patreons up. That's fine.
I don't have a PHP architect button, and you're
Why
clearly
not?
going in a
I
direction.
have many of them. Yes, PHP architect. AST. Have you ever heard of AST, Tom?
No.
So
You're
the
talking
abstract
jungle juice here. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, so the initial article was a couple months ago. There was a follow-up one that the author didn't get to us until this month, and it should be out hopefully early to mid next week. And it starts to tie all of these things together. But basically, with the abstract syntax,
say again, AST, abstract static typing?
No, abstract syntax tree. It's how PHP is broken down into machine language. Like Echo
like
becomes
the tokenizing?
T. Yeah, for the most part tokenizing, but within the abstract syntax tree, which is how we've made all these speed improvements, blah, blah, blah. You can then take that abstract syntax tree and manipulate things. One of the biggest things that have come out of it, I think this is how, what is JMax tool for upgrading Laravel?
Shift.
Yeah, Shift. Laravel
Yes.
Shift. I'm assuming that's how he does that. Like, his shifts are probably taking your code, breaking it down into the abstract syntax tree and saying, here's how things change from each Laravel version. That's how Rector can take your code and then either upgrade or even downgrade your version of PHP and saying, okay, if I'm going to go this way, I'm going to make these changes. So it's fascinating. And I feel like he might have missed that mark within the article, unfortunately, in the sense that this is currently used in these tools. He does mention Rector because he is the author of Rector.
Sure.
But PHP Stan uses it within the code base I work on. We actually have custom PHP Stan rules using the abstract syntax tree to say, hey, this isn't going to pass if, if you're using this type of model incorrectly. And I forget what the actual rule is, but it's very specific to a type of model that we use. So it's not something that would be, that you would release to everybody because it wouldn't make sense for everybody else.
Well, you know what else we use?
Just fascinating. Subscribe to PHP Architect
Our
magazine if
patrons
you want to
on
learn more.
Patreon. There you go.
That's all I was trying to say.
Look at that beautiful November animation. Help me out here because I have to go to the bathroom.
All right, that's fine. You didn't want to hear this next part anyways. So speaking of PHP Architect, John, did you find any stickers to bring with you?
No. I should have. I have. See, I meant to grab them. I ended up grabbing. I have elephants. I have magazines. I have PHP Ugly, lanyards. Like I brought a bunch of stuff.
Oh my god! I forgot about the lanyards. Holy crap! I still have some of those.
I have a box full of stickers where when I ship an elephant, I'll grab like a PHP Architect magnet, a couple of stickers. We have the little round, I have stickers that I could have grabbed and I did not. But I do have a bunch of other stuff here.
Are you giving everything away, or are you selling stuff? What's the story there? Should people try to find you and say a magic word or something?
Yes, say the magic word and you will get something. I am torn on what I want to do with these. I brought a few elephants. I was planning on, during my presentation, having them stacked up. And then I've had a couple of ideas around it. One, if somebody asks a good question, they get an elephant. Or as I'm presenting, like especially early on, finding somebody that's making eye contact and say, I see you making eye contact with me. Here's an elephant. Just to make sure everybody keeps eye contact, almost like training a dog. Like, right? You might get one if you're not looking at your computer or, daydreaming. I don't know. I haven't figured it all out yet.
How to become the most hated man in PHP in one presentation.
Brought some magazines just to give away if somebody wants to see what the quality of our magazine is.
Saw that
a printed version.
I was gonna say, so I did say in our Slack channel that a Kindle would have saved you a lot of space, but like immediately after saying it, I realized that you have probably read all of the issues that you had packed with you as the editor.
Yeah,
and that they were for distribution.
And I still have probably at least one of each of those.
Yeah, the conference hasn't started. You still have to do that part of the conference.
When do you talk? When do you talk, John?
Saturday at 2:30.
Is there a live broadcast where I can judge you in real time, like there is for this one?
You can buy a online only ticket if you would like to mock me while I am presenting. Yes.
I just have to say, we've got a lot of Elon Musk garbage to go over. We are not going to be doing that in this episode, but if you're a patron on Discord or if you're watching us on YouTube, we will definitely be talking about Elon Musk being a not great person.
You're talking
And,
about
We
after
wrapping
the
up
show?
the show? Is that what's happening?
after the show,
I think we
you
wrapped-
started leading the show in with your thanks to the advertisers who we haven't even played yet. I'm ending the show with
both of them.
our conversations we will be having.
No, not really.
He's
You don't?
he's trying to make the audio listeners jealous because they didn't hang out with us.
On YouTube. Do you know what our profit margin on YouTube is? It's
0.
1 to 1. We make $0 on every listen.
No, I'm pretty sure we actually lose money on YouTube because we pay for the premium. Yeah.
There's
I
that.
want to close out this episode with a
Me
bit
too.
of poetry. With a bit of poetry I found on Twitter from @TomGuerra. It's pretty simple. Google Meet Original was previously Meet, which was the rebranded Hangouts Meet. Meet has been merged with Google Duo, which replaced Google Hangouts. Google Duo has been renamed Meet, and Meet has been temporarily named Google Meet Original for clarity.
That was a poem?
How is that not a poem? That's fucking amazing.
You're saying this like it's new. This is old news, isn't it?
This is not old news. The renaming of Google Duo to Google Meet, which was Google Hangouts.
Yeah, it's old.
Yeah, we talked about this like
I'm sorry. This poem comes in 3 stanzas.
okay.
To be clear, the merger of Google Meet Original and Google Duo has no impact on Google Chat, the app formerly known as Google Hangouts, which replaced Google Talk, often mistakenly referenced to as GChat. As some have noted, Google Hangouts was replaced by both Google Chat and Google Duo. To be clear, Google Chat launched as Hangouts Chat for Google Workspace, formerly G Suite. Google Duo replaced Hangouts in the suite of Google apps for Android, not to be confused with G Suite.
And the
Well, that was
third
a very
stanza?
sweet way to end the show. What?
I'm assuming there's more.
Is there more?
No, that's it.
That's it? Okay.
I was going to tell you to roll credits, but then I realized I have the button for rolling credits.
Do we have credits?
I
I just
just-
have credits.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. This has been PHP Ugly. I love you. Goodbye.
1, 2, 1, 2. Coming off the
We're
top,
gonna do
y'all
the
know how we do.
American zone.
Listen,
Okay,
I'ma
got it.
drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host
here,
named
here,
Eric. Yo, he's never on some
Yeah, so
average
guess not.
shit. You know, Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to
I'm
break
John.
it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host name Thomas, cause he's never
It's later.
wrong. Yo,
I'm
shout to
tired.
John. You know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly, cause it's not professional. But I'm about to come through and bless it
John.
with style. So let's do it when
know,
I'm
I'm gonna
spitting.
give
I
you
perfume
some-
the room. Yo, the segment of the
service.
show is called Doom and
You're
Gloom.
gonna
That
be
came
my
from Thomas.
thumbnail.
Yeah, can nobody go
can't hear
beyond
you.
this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web
Something
applications.
cowboy with
Okay, I can dig it. My words spray tight. They're
like
getting
a-
together on the Thursday
cowboy
nights.
faces.
Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are
Give me
major.
cowboy face.
All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they
fine.
doing.
I mean, you
Keep
always do
it
this.
ugly. We ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all. Peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well on YouTube. Hope you guys are having fun. And it was an honor and blessing to do this little custom freestyle for y'all. Hope you enjoy. Stay up.
What?
What?
Yeah. Come on. Hey.
You get what you wanted?
Sure. I'm just gonna take a couple pictures of your ugly face. Your pixelated face.
Discord, is it just me or does John's background look like a Zoom overlay? Like
Absolutely, it totally looks like
something
a Zoom
about
background.
your lighting is right on your shoulders, which makes your room look totally fake.
Yeah.
It is fake. I'm really at home. I couldn't make it to the conference, and I feel bad.
Oh, look at these guys. It's like a cute minefield.
All right. John, I'm gonna make you a cowboy. You didn't happen to bring your assless chaps with you, did you? You could put those on real fast.
I do have them, but they
I
take
have
too
a
long to
cowboy
put on.
hat right here. Do you want to use me for it?
I mean, the last thing I need is a cowboy hat. I'm gonna find the biggest cowboy hat I can put on him.
15 goddamn gallons. I'll ask you this. Why did I learn about the gallon sizing of hat in elementary school and not the metric system? Because I can tell you how big a 10-gallon hat is, which is one of the dumbest things for an elementary school student to know. But the conversion for kilometer to mile, no idea.
Still have to Google it.
Yeah. Fucking Steve has questions. Are we just intentionally ignoring him?
No, I was
I'm
starting to reply.
not even in a Discord right now.
Don't think you
Yeah.
should.
Nope, don't reply. Just let him.
Nah,
just
it's
let him keep.
it's just fucking Steve.
That's true. Just fucking Steve.
Elon Musk has gone full douchebag. I am so pleased with how this purchase of Twitter has gone, where he paid $44 billion for a $10 billion company and then immediately tanked the stock price and got in a fight with Stephen King about how much blue check marks should cost.
Oh, I heard about this.
Oh,
Yeah.
Shit. Stephen King was like, "Hey, I'm the product, not the consumer. You should be paying
Yeah.
me." And Elon Musk was like, "How about $8?" Stephen King was like, "You're the worst businessman in history." Wow.
He wants
Yeah,
to
that was
charge
hysterical.
$8.
He wants to
Like-
charge $8
Month.
to get a blue check mark
Mhm.
with no
No actual validation of any. So you're
Yeah,
just paying,
right, with
you're just
no
paying for a
aware-
blue check mark.
awareness of what it actually did, like what the blue check mark was for. And then he also fired the entire board of directors, who are the only people who could tell him, "Hey, this is why this was implemented."
Mhm.
Like, and then he had people printing out pages of code for code review and wanted to see the algorithms, which
Oh, is that where
As-
that joke
as
came
a
from?
developer, that's the dumbest part.
I literally just printed out code like a couple of weeks ago.
See the algorithm that manages hot topics. Like, dude, what do you think you're gonna see? Like, if Trump, then Barry? Like, we literally don't understand how machine learning works. And he's like, "All right, but print it out for me, though. Like, I'll figure it out."
It's my type of guy. Print out the code so you can follow it.
I think he might be the only billionaire to ever go bankrupt. Like, this is somebody broke down if every Twitter user paid $8 for their verification check mark, it covered 2/4 of their advertising budget annually. Like the whole thing, and he bases the whole thing on like free speech. Anyways, I have 20 Elon Musk accounts that all have blue check marks now. We recommend Dogecoin. It's the Elon Twitter thing. Like, how are we not? How is he not a king? Like a modern interpretation. Am I muted?
I
Nothing?
don't,
1 2 1 2.
just not sure how to answer you on that. What do you mean?
Like, if you think about the influence that a king had at the time when the American settlers said, hey, no more kings, those things are bad.
I don't know, but guess what? I forgot to talk about the most important thing that happened this week.
Stream's still going.
This fucking guy.
All right, Steve, you paying attention?
No. This guy right here beat me in chess. Not just beat me, stomped me in chess. I've never played before. I don't know how to play. I'm a 400 rated player. Stomped
He's exaggerating this.
in chess.
This is he's talking. I stomped him
I
on the
thought he
same
was
game.
using Stockfish.
We're talking about the same game we've been talking about for the last 2 weeks, where it takes me, and I shared it with him, it takes me 4 days to make a move because I keep running through all the options.
That's
on the board.
awesome. The fact that you're doing that, that's what they do in a real chess tournament or a real chess game. When you're not playing a 10-minute chess game, when you're playing a traditional game, they take the time to analyze every single move, and that's what you were doing.
Yeah, have you never seen any movie about Central Park ever?
Yeah, you stomped me in that game. Like,
have you
It
checked
was
his
embarrassing.
anus?
Oh, so that thing you said, that stockfish. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I'm not looking at
Sock.
you guys. I'm
Sockfish.
doing our thumbnails.
No,
Stockfish.
stockfish.
Oh, is it a stockfish?
No, stock with a T.
So that's just an engine, right? Because I typed that into the Pop OS store, and it came back with 2 chess games. So I assume that's just like an engine with those chess games.
Yeah, it analyzes your chess game.
Oh,
It can make recommendations too.
Oh, so I was explaining to John that after our game finish, I had the ability, because there were two times I thought John had me beat. Like I didn't know what I was going to do next, and then there was one time where I thought John. And then there was one time where I was about to attack, and I was waiting for John to move his king into one more square, and I was going to pounce, and I kept looking at it, and I couldn't figure out, how he could escape it. But he also never moved his king into that position, so I ended up starting to. It was stupid blind luck, but I ended up starting to nudge my queen up the board, and then I kind of looked. I'm like, wait a minute! I think I have him. This is where I beat him. Because I had actually drawn out that I was going to nudge my queen up and then just see what move he made and, figure out my next move from there. Whereas my other attack, I had him beat. Like 3 different ways I had him beat. And he just wouldn't move his king into the right place.
Yeah,
So-
had there been one more move where you didn't check me, it would have been a much different outcome. But
Yeah,
you kept
yeah.
enough of an attack going where I couldn't
And I thought,
do that.
and like I said, I thought you had me early in the game. I forget where it was now exactly, but I got to that point with chess.com, like going through the steps, and then I made the move I thought you should have made, and chess.com had me had. Now I probably wouldn't have defended as well as chess.com, but chess.com blew it out of the water. Like it was a horrible idea. I'm like, okay, well, that's why he probably didn't make that move.
I don't know which move it was, but I blundered my queen at some point. I still forget how I lost my queen to you. Oh no, I still had my queen.
You did make a blunder because when I was going through the analytics, it said that one of your moves was a blunder. I had a few blunders as well, apparently. Yeah,
I hate chess so much.
I forget what the odds were.
I'm loving it. I'm
I think I
absolutely
was
loving
down
it.
Well,
I started a
now
new game with you, by the way.
did
it's
you?
so weird that you just beat your dealer and now you want to play a bunch more.
Again, I don't consider that a beat. Like seriously,
stomped
it
me.
took me a week to make. Like I think the first 3 or 4 moves was like a week of
Yeah.
chess.
Let me just explain to you how that first hit really didn't satisfy me as much as I thought it could have. So I'll try again. I played John, and I got to a point where I thought, hey, if I castled here, he'd be really screwed.
That's what I was trying to do. I was trying to castle, and every time I thought I was ready to castle, I would have to move a piece because John.
Because it's a known tactic. Like I thought I was being fucking brilliant. I'm like, hey, castle, little known move in chess, and John was like, no, he's gonna castle right here, so I'll just block it with a pawn. I'm like, oh. Bummer.
Eric wrote to me. He's like, I don't understand castling. I'm like, well, you just move your king 2 squares. And he's like,
no, I
working.
didn't know how. I didn't know how to cast that. That's right.
If it's the first move your king is made.
Right. I'm like, how do you castle on chess.com? I couldn't figure it out. So yeah.
So I told him how, and then I was like, but there's caveats. Like you can't have moved the king. You can't have moved the rook that you're trying to castle with, and you can't castle if you're in check or through check.
And you had me in check.
No, I don't think I had you in check. Oh, I did at that point. Yeah,
you did.
I got John in check twice.
Well, that's not the point of the game,
and
that doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, it accomplished fucking nothing. Because he managed to advance on me while getting out of check both times. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Never playing this godforsaken
I don't even remember
game
how
again.
I got out of check either. But yeah.
Go back and look. I mean, it's not hard to get out of check.
It is for me.
CPR. You just need to know CPR.
Oh yeah, what's CPR again?
Capture, protect, run away. So obviously, first try to capture the piece that puts you in check. If not, try to protect.
Your video is so bad.
It is. I'm sorry.
The picture I took. Actually, I'm gonna make it a small cowboy hat. I'm gonna get a small cowboy hat on your head.
Oh, a little birthday cowboy hat.
Yeah, I think that looks better.
I think I'm done. I am beat. I've been drinking all day.
Yeah, it's midnight.
It takes like 30 minutes to get into one of those nurse tucked beds. I tell you, I drank quite a bit on my trip and had several issues with how tightly my bed was tucked.
What the hell did we talk about? I don't even remember what the hell we talked about today.
Eric hates project management.
Oh gosh.
See?
Oh, I didn't.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'm well documented. Not a fan of PMs.
God, you're a CTO. How did you even manage? I
Why
have
we-
been doing it for a straight up 5 days, 5 full work days. I am so impressed with what I came up with. I can't believe you don't like it.
What? What are you talking about?
Project management. It's so weird that you don't like it because it's like high level architecture. It's
No,
so
it's
cool.
not. No, it's not. I don't know what PM you think you are, but that's not what PMs are and not what they do. Matter of fact, my PM better not be doing any
I-
architecture.
I randomly got told you're the architect and PM for this, so
Well, that's two.
I
that's-
don't know what kind of PM I am either.
That's two positions. That's not what. That's like saying, "Oh, hey, you're the front end and back end developer for this." It doesn't.
I am also a full stack developer. How fucking dare you?
All right, I'm hanging up. I'm going to bed.
Don't
I'm
hang, don't hang
crashing.
up, John. Don't hang up, John.
John.
Crashing.
Jesus Christ.
John,
What?
you got nothing.
We
going
can all
on,
we
man.
can all tell your hotel room is a fake background.
Your kids aren't there.
Doesn't mean I'm not tired.
Listen, the
What are you
hookers
gonna do?
work late.
What are you gonna
You'll be
do?
fine.
You're gonna try and masturbate in an uncomfortable position.
No, I'm gonna try and go to sleep.
Just gonna you're gonna sit in the cuck chair. Oh my god. Did you guys hear about the cuck chair? Which
I have no idea what you're talking about.
you know what cuckolding is?
No, I do not. Did I lose you?
Watching your partner have
Should we
sex.
really be broadcasting this on our
Yes,
YouTube
watching
channel?
your partner have sex with someone else.
Why would you?
Cuckolding.
I'm done. I'm done asking
No,
questions at this stage.
This is the thing. I saw a thing recently. I saw a thing recently that said that every hotel room has a cuck chair, which is just a
Tough
chair.
Just,
It's
I
just a
don't care.
chair.
I
It's
don't-
just
I don't care.
it's just a
don't care what-
chair that observes the bed. Every
Sure.
hotel room has yeah. That's a nice hotel room. It's got a great cuck chair. It's why is that chair in your hotel room? For
So
what?
if someone came over, they can watch TV.
They're not watching TV. Why is that chair in any hotel room? I love that I have said horrible things and your children are just now picking up and telling me to please, for God's sake, stop on Discord. Why do hotels have the cuck chair? That is one of the greatest.
Why will we never be able to monetize our YouTube channel?
Oh, that's right. Hey, everybody, thanks for listening. We're all getting tired. We're going to bed. Good night. Oh, I just clicked on the shared video instead of the actual control. Good night.